The same way you got a friend, yeah, and you roll with each other, it doesn't mean you have to agree with everything.
The debaters came together today. We had a little chat about being represented. Kojo, comedian, came down. He also presents Sunshine Breakfast with me. Lala didn't make it, unfortunately. And Snips has randomly decided that he's gone to LA, which I didn't even know about. So, a couple of people missing from the debates today, but all good.
You know how in the debates here, a lot of people think that we actually represent a large group of people.
Who the fuck thinks that?
A lot of people think that, Teeth.
I slightly do think that.
But what do you mean represent? I wasn't fucking voted for anything. Like,
No,
I wasn't elected.
Yeah, but not, no.
Sorry.
Hey, no, hold on a minute. Hold on. Where are you going?
I'm multitasking, watch me.
What's going on?
Well, the thing is, obviously, when you hear the word represent now, you're thinking of some sort of Obama type, you know, James Cameron type shit. But when I say we slightly do, my opinion does represent a lot of people who have that same opinion. That's me.
But that's for the people who are viewing to the side. So basically, if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, you know what? Yeah, I agree with what that guy's saying. Then cool. Maybe you've allowed me to. Maybe you should agree with me.
Yeah, but have we all at one stage, for example, seen somebody on television and thought black family fortunes?
Yeah.
And think, oh, come on, man, rip.
He's very right. If you see a black family on Family Fortunes, you're gonna try and relate them to yourself if you've got a black family.
I have been somebody that when you're sitting at home and you see a black family on television, you're like, you know what, make sure you rep, man, don't sound crap, don't sound. It's a lot of pressure. And for having been in the situation now, I can be the first to put my hand up and say, that's a lot of pressure to put on anybody. All they're doing is representing themselves.
I'm sorry, if I see a black family on Family Fortunes against a white family on Family Fortunes, I am not going to just side with the black family because they're fucking black. That's a childish mentality for me. Maybe I would have done that when I was 18, but I'm not 18 years old anymore. And I think that's what breeds racism in my eyes, and I want to kind of drift away from that mentality and frame of mind.
The thing is, at the same time, you see like certain people on the TV or whatever who have almost exactly the same train of thought as you. Yeah. So that person, in a sense, almost does represent me because they think like me. Teeth was more looking at the extreme side of me coming out and everybody saying, okay, you represent me, you represent me. That's not what we're saying. But in one sense, it's like when you come out here, you have all these opinions and you have a certain way of thinking and you're consistent with that for 10, 20, 30 videos, then people identify with you. You almost have the same way of thinking, not 100%. So naturally, you look at that person and say, yeah, I can hang with that dude. That dude represents what I'm about then. But Teeth, for some reason, has a problem with that. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, but there will be an individual that doesn't think like you though.
No, but what Chucky's saying.
No, yeah, that don't represent me though.
The reason why I can respect what Chucky's saying, because over the past weeks, yeah, obviously we've done debates for a long time. So what happens is people sort of engage with certain characters and be like, that guy's representing me. And after a couple of weeks, yeah, if you say one thing, because remember they're looking at it like that's my brother. The moment you say something that completely goes against what they think,
one thing.
You were meant to be representing me, and now you're saying that like you've gone against what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying?
All I'm saying is that I think you're probably going about it the wrong way if that's what you're thinking.
I understand, yeah, whether you like it or not, once you put yourself in the media eye, you have a responsibility to cater to the audience in which that appeals to you. So therefore, if a certain audience begins to appreciate what you're saying, just hold them in. Be conscious and be aware that they could be potentially following you and be mindful of what you're saying. Try not to offend them, just be diplomatic about what you're saying. It's not about like changing, it's about coming to compromise. I think that's a very, very important, because even when you're in a relationship, when you're with a girl, there's things that you want to do but you can't do, so you have to come to compromise with your girl. It's like, for example, you might argue about everything under the sun, but when you got your girl, you don't want to argue every day. So you might be like, you know what, babe, I'll give you this one because it's calm like that.
You can agree with points, but you don't fucking make me your ambassador.
Exactly.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Obama, Jay-Z and Will Smith, right? Yeah. Have both said, yeah, they think that gay marriage is cool.
Okay.
Now, all of those three people, as far as I'm concerned, represent me. Yeah, but when I heard that, I was like, pause. Pause time.
I have nothing wrong with it.
No, I'm just saying, pause time.
That's your business.
That's that BBC talk coming out.
If you feel that you are a role model and you want to take on that heavy burden, or you can also look at it as something that you've really aspired to, something that you're quite proud of. The fact that people are actually looking to you and looking towards you and find you quite inspiring, that's quite a positive way to look at being a role model, especially celebrities and music artists and actors. When they get that tag role model, it can be quite a daunting thing.
When you talk about being an ambassador and all that, now you're being an extremist to me. But what I'm saying is like, Jay-Z doesn't represent me, because I don't think that he feels the same way about certain things. Right. However, there are certain people that I see, for example, almost like Kevin Hart. He almost represents me. I'll tell you why.
What? You wear that green hat? Same
No,
height.
my name's
Same
Jerome.
height, same height.
We got the same struggle. But the thing is, that some of the things that he says, yeah, even when he's being serious and when he's being funny, is almost the same way that I think. So if he does come out and he does say something stupid, then all of a sudden I would think like,
I'm saying,
bruh,
it's
but
your fault
why would you say
for
that?
making him the guy that represents you.
Yeah.
Basically, you can't just have an opinion and then just because you expressed your opinion where thousands of people, the whole world can see that opinion, that automatically makes you an ambassador of other people with similar opinion. I don't get that. I get with you agreeing with people, but I don't get that whole thing of like, that means you represent the whole fucking
You're
generation.
never gonna agree with 100%
You know what I'm
anyone
saying?
does, and if you do, then you're not being yourself.
Maybe.
You see what I'm trying to say? Because my thing is that you could be 90% in agreement with me, but I will say that one thing that makes you go, "Ugh."
Or does that mean you're gonna hate me now because I fucking said one thing you didn't
Exactly,
like?
and that's how society is, you know.
A lot of people are like that.
Exactly, like they can figure all the times you said yes.
Yeah.
The one time you say no, that's the only time. It's like, oh, you're gonna be. Do you know what I mean?
And you're a dickhead now. Even though you said that 99 things I agree with,
Yes.
there's one thing I don't agree with,
Yes.
dickhead.
Exactly.
I can't fuck that.
That's a society because people got short attention spans.
And on top of that, they expect you to be perfect.
Yes.
They expect you to be some kind of human being that doesn't make mistakes, has no faults, is flawless. I'm sorry, those kind of people don't fucking exist.
Exactly, and that means you've chosen an ambassador that you're not allowing to grow.
Basically.
You understand what I'm saying? And as an individuals, yeah, we like to grow, innit? We like to make mistakes,
man.
and we like to learn
That's
from
what
ourselves.
life's about, man. Life's about progressing, man. You can agree with his point, and you can also disagree with his point. That's the point of it. The same way you got a friend, yeah, and you roll with each other. It doesn't mean you have to agree with everything.
Obviously
not, though. Let me finish. But your friend can be the person that people have an idea of what you might be like.
Yes.
Doesn't mean that just because your friend is your friend, you.
Well, can I ask, so how many times have you seen a black family or a black person or whatever on TV somewhere where people can see and you've been upset because they have represented what you stand for? Do you know what I mean?
I don't think any one person should represent anybody. I think everybody's an individual. Me personally, I am an individual. I'm not a perfect individual. So I understand that sometimes people can look at you as a role model, especially young kids, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm entitled to make my own mistakes and learn from my own mistakes. You know what I mean? So if I go on TV like I did the BBC free speech show, yeah, and some people may have thought, okay, now why is Kojo saying this? Because that's what Kojo believes.
Kojo was on free speech actually last night, so I'm sure that he must have been pigeonholed and said, you know, that he was a good representation or all bad because people have their own opinions.
I always believe in terms of opinions and people feeling like you represent them is too much pressure for anybody. It's too much pressure for you. If somebody held you responsible for their dreams and stuff like that or their ambitions or change that they want to see, they're supposed to do that for themselves, you get me? So if I go on TV, first of all, I'm representing me and my family, and then after that, I represent whoever.
Let me just say something. So take on the snips roll. On a normal thing, like, let's say, like, whoa. Bare handy, innit? Obviously, SAS. I live in proof. You know what I'm saying to you? I'm not saying, yeah, you go out and intentionally say that person represents me, but subconsciously, due to the fact that they keep saying things that sort of relate to your lifestyle, you begin to think to yourself, they represent the same thing that I'm representing. Not necessarily they are me.
And you're not
like,
going to agree with
everything they say, but when it's almost like, for example, the people that you roll with, they're a decent representation of yourself. So if they do something which is completely out of character, regardless of how you think, for example, if there's a bag of girls together and one girl sleeps around, as a boy, I begin to think all of the girls represent the same thing. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say they do, but obviously that's like your principle.
Yeah,
That's
your
what
cosign,
it is.
innit? That's a cosign.
But that's
So wait, hold on. So we've got you are disagreeing with you two, and then you agreeing with him sometimes, and then agreeing with them sometimes.
95%.
But that's fine. It doesn't mean I represent him. I don't represent Kojo, even though he agrees with me 95%.
Same with me, people think that I represent loads of things. Chucky and Poet make good point. I've got to say I agree with Chucky and Poet on this one, but I also slightly agree with Teef as well, because I'm saying, it's like Rihanna, she put herself up there, but she didn't agree that she was going to be a big role model for anyone, so it's like, whatever. And if you're wondering what these bits are in my hair, then I'm sure you'll see a picture of me on Instagram, and I'll show you why.
But you know something? I've got the camera, so I can talk, and I could just talk to the camera, so no one else is listening. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, I would just like to say that, Teef, for example, yeah. You represent a lot of people side with you and your opinion. If one day you come up on the debate and you say something that is completely out of character, people be like, what the F?
You represent a man who doesn't give a shit from your point of fucking view, and the world doesn't run from your fucking eyes.
Whether he likes it or not, Teef is a representation of the person who, you know, don't give a shit and always sees, in some sense, the other side of the coin. Because that's what he does, isn't it?
Do not put me on a pedestal pedestal. If you can agree with certain points and not agree with certain points.
But
So
don't you
understand
think-
I'm a man.
So yeah, Keith, I mean, that whole don't put me on a pedestal talk and all that, it's all good, but you've agreed to be someone who people look to for not only information, but for ideas, views, and like what you represent. And you represent something, so, you know, it seemed to be Kojo and Teeth against Chucky and Poet. Anyway, back to the guys.
You have no control of where someone puts you. You have no control of that. Okay. That's fine.
And you have put yourself on that pedestal by being in these
Not
debates. I think that if you agree, by agreeing,
Not by
for example, by agreeing to be on a panel. Oh, thank you. By agreeing to be on a panel, by agreeing to be on a debate, you are somehow representing a lot of people. And people will believe that you represent people. So for example, when I got something wrong on the debate, people were vexed because apparently I represent their generation.
Like, I don't fucking do these debates because I think I've got a better opinion than everyone else and shit. I do them because I fucking enjoy them. And however long the producers of this show think that I should be involved with the show, I'm gonna wanna fucking do the show as long as I wanna do the show. It's as simple as that for me. I don't think I'm better than anyone else. I don't think I got better opinions than them. Actually, some people I do because some people are fucking stupid. But I like to kind of disregard those people because I just don't want to know about them in general. But people who have like decent heads on their shoulders and shit, who can formulate an opinion, then cool, I can fucks with you. And you don't have to agree with me. It's as simple as that. I'm not trying to convince the whole world to like me, or I'm not trying to convince the whole world to have the same opinion as me. That's not what I want. I'm just delivering my opinion in the best way possible as I can. And hopefully it helps some people. What can I say?
If you consistently do something and you consistently stand for something, then one week all of a sudden out of character, you completely go against it.
Why is it out of character?
Why is it out of character?
Why is it out of character?
But the bottom line is they don't know you.
That's the point. So when they know the character, when you say out of character, what do you mean?
Jessie J has said it's
Yeah,
not
can
about
I-
money.
can I
If
just-
she comes out and makes a track talking about money, I'm gonna be like, bitch, a minute ago you said to me it's not about the money, money. No one says you're going to be a role model. I think over time, life gives you a role that you not necessarily wanted to have, but you end up having. So I feel like you have a responsibility. If you have a voice and people are gonna listen to it, you have to be mindful of what you're saying, because potentially you have the ability to influence thousands. Although Teeth saying, I don't want to be a role model, fam, the moment you get in front of a camera and people actually say, I respect what he's saying, be mindful, because what life has given you is the opportunity to say something and people care, fam.
But here,
So why are we
but
thinking
do you know
about
what?
what you're saying, fam?
Although we completely agreed on everything that was going on down there, at the same time, he still has the opportunity for him to say whatever he wants to say, innit? Because at the end of the day, if we all sit here and agree on something to try and influence whatever, then this is just going to be some foolishness.
But
But
what
at
did
the end of the day, he can just come out and say what he wants to say, whether it is right or wrong, because it's his opinion.
Let me say something. My name's Jerome, innit? Boom. Right? So basically, I'll tell you what out of character is. If you are consistent in your opinions throughout, let's just say,
What I've
you
just
know,
said.
10 debates, and in one debate you come out and you say something so over there, that's out of character.
But all I'm saying to you is that you have to understand I'm a man and I'm trying to progress and enlighten myself as time goes on.
Exactly.
So when you're saying I have a certain specific character, you're basically saying you don't ever want me to change.
So that's the debates this week, guys. Make sure you check out our debates every Tuesday and Thursday, and hopefully the editing team can get it out early in the day so that you guys can watch it from early on.
Every girl go, Rosé! There's two reasons. There's an old philosopher that said everything you do in life is a fuck or to eat. Yeah. Pretty much everything you do is to eat well.
Thing of like, oh, we're creating a bad boy or we're creating a raucous or shit. It's like, it's just not that time right now.
In your line of work, if you're like years in front of somebody, are you really gonna bring, like, what's the point of you working class?
There's still a piece to be had.